All right, folks, what's going on? So we're back with another description of the Africa Twin. This time I wanted to specifically address wind noise. So in my original review, around the 15-minute mark, I start talking about wind noise and how it's annoying, right? How it gets really loud. And I had theorized that the wind was coming up around these here wings, or the side of the Africa Twins. And I was right. So short story, I went on a ride. It was several hours, and by the time I got back, so I have a new helmet. I have the Scorpion, I think 970 or something, not shown. But after a few hours of that ride, I was exhausted, and it was it really wasn't the seat or anything that did it. It was just the wind noise. Now, not buffeting, not being shaken around, but the noise itself. And I was really close to actually selling the bike, because I was like, I've got the tall OEM, I've got the short OEM, both of them were loud, still didn't help. And on my Africa Twin Facebook group, they were like, well, try the Madstad engineering. Now this sucker, I don't know about you, but I think it's kind of butt ugly. It's not nearly as sleek or as sporty looking as the OEM screen, but let me tell you, this completely transforms how the bike sounds when you're on it. So before, with either the OEM short, OEM tall, or even when I took the windshield off and was testing, because my theory was, okay, well, let me take this windshield off, right? And I should get super clean air like I do with my WR250R, which is my Africa Twin's new buddy. But you do not get clean air with the Africa Twin. It was still turbulent and loud, even with no windshield. And I'm like, man, what the hell? I'm pretty sure it has to do with just this area here. Well, this windshield, as you can see, covers that area, right? So as you're going down the road, it covers that, and it totally transforms the bike. So all of a sudden, I start going down the interstate after installing this thing, you know, getting it dialed in with the height and the angle, and wind noise is still there, but almost completely eliminated. Almost completely eliminated. Now all of a sudden I'm hearing like tire noise and my exhaust in my engine for the first time since I've ridden the bike, you know, anything faster than like 40 or 50 miles an hour. Way quieter, much less turbulence and just overall noise on the side of my helmet. Now when you order this thing, if you do order, it's not cheap. I think it was like $300, so it was pretty pricey, right? So you've got this adjustable bracket here that it'll come with. I'm sorry for the angle here. It comes with these two knobs, right? You just loosen this, and you can adjust the lean angle like forward and back, and up and down. So this is the lowest position. I think I have the 18-inch model. I can't remember. It'll actually go pretty high, but I don't like looking through a windshield. I think I should have gotten a slightly shorter. I think they have a 16-inch model. I can't remember. You'd have to check the website. But I'm 6 feet tall. I sit in the high position on the seat, and the 18-inch to me is a little too tall because I'm already at the lowest position on the adjustable bracket. I wish it was a little bit shorter, but whatever. It's still great. You do have to take the default OEM well nuts out, which is the hardest part of this entire thing, right? It's taking those damn well nuts out without losing them inside the bike and then putting some new well nuts in here, which I don't know why they do that. But whatever. And then you put this guy on, right? So there are some concerns with this. I wanted to go ahead and talk about it real quick. So because you're on a bracket now, right? So this bracket is away from the default of where the how the windscreen is normally flush. So you do have a little more torque when this thing starts wobbling, right? And at some speeds like 80, 85, 90 plus, you may enter a situation where like you get this kind of like this buffeting chopper noise, like when you roll down the windows in a car wrong, right? And it starts doing this number. It vibes it a little bit. You could probably out accelerate it, or you could get yourself a brace, like a camel brace or something else, right? I don't have that, so I can tell this kind of shakes, but that's going like kind of fast, and it's only sometimes. So I'm not sure if it's related to just those wind conditions. But that's something that'll happen that does not happen with the OEM. Right? The OEM I've hit up to 122 miles an hour and it was fine. This one, right, started to vibe at a certain frequency. But well worth it. I don't care really about going that fast very often. But the wind noise after installing this is nearly gone. Right? All of a sudden I can hear my exhaust. I'm like, whoa, like this engine. And like before, it was literally so loud because a lot of times when I commute to work in this thing, I'm in a headwind, right? So I'm going like 80 with a 20 headwind, right? So it's equivalent to 100 miles an hour. And it was just, all I could hear was wind. I could not hear my engine. This is with headphones or earplugs in, right? Couldn't hear my engine, definitely couldn't hear my tires. I could literally only hear the wind. Now with this sucker on, right? Like the wind is gone. I hear the whine of my tires, right? My front tire's kind of loud. And then the engine and just the road noise is like, holy crap, I can actually hear the bike. So I still ride with earplugs in, but it is way more pleasant. So this is one of those upgrades where function is definitely a priority over form. So I will admit the Madstad is kind of an ugly windshield. I mean, let's not lie, right? It just looks porky and fat, but it does its job very well. I have no complaints. I would, if I were a designer, right, without knowing anything, I might shave off these corners a little bit to make it look a little more sporty, with while still having those like those basically the ears of the Africa Twin still covered, right? I might do that just to make it look a little more sporty. But otherwise, I have no complaints. This is a well worth an upgrade. I was literally about to sell my bike because I was just tired of dealing with really loud wind noise. Again, not buffeting. Buffeting was solved by my Swego Tech. This guy right here, right? Which I mentioned in the review. But just the noise itself, it was just so freaking loud. And it caused fatigue, you know, when you hear a loud noise for a long time. But this has practically transformed the bike for $300. And thanks for watching.